Coming up on UCF Nightly News. It's a downtown Orlando tradition. Hundreds hit the streets in costumes to celebrate Halloween. We'll show you how police plan to keep everyone safe.
Plus, pumpkins of a different color. We'll tell you about the latest pumpkin painting trend and what the unique color means.
And spooky spots in Central Florida. We'll take you on a tour of the most haunted locations in Orlando. Find out about the latest creepy sightings.
Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to this special edition of Nightly News. I'm Khalil Maycock.
And I'm Alex Bozarjian. Today is Friday, October 27th, 2017.
Get your pumpkins and costumes ready. Halloween is just around the corner.
And festivities begin this weekend, so we're dedicating the next 30 minutes to covering all things spooky and safety in Central Florida.
UCF police want drunk drivers to stay off the road. The department reported an increase in drunk driving arrests last year, so they're asking students to find a ride instead of getting behind the wheel. The UCF Police Department and Florida Highway Patrol made 10 DUI arrests on Halloween in 2016. That's 5 times more than the average. Officer Joel Witherspoon says that can be prevented. He says before you start drinking, make sure you have a safe ride home.
It is illegal to drink and drive, so my tip is always going to be don't do it, all right? Uber. Have a plan before you go out, so this way when you do go out, you know also how you're getting home. You're going to Uber.
UCF PD encourages students to call if they or someone they see need help. The department also suggests looking out for friends and fellow students. UCF police will decide if and where there will be DUI checkpoints around UCF.
Police are also preparing for the large crowds in downtown this year. Each year, hundreds flock to the streets in costumes. Wall Street is a popular location for Halloween activities. This year marks the 7th annual Halloween block party held on Wall Street. Here are some tips from the Orlando Police Department on how to stay safe downtown this Halloween. Stay on the sidewalks and paths, not the street. Put your electronic devices down and pay attention to your surroundings. If you're planning to drink, utilize services such as Uber and Lyft to keep the roads safe and minimize traffic. Make sure you are driving to drive with extreme caution.
While you focus on staying safe, some residents say you should also keep an eye out for paranormal activity. Multiple bars on Church Street are known for being haunted. Nightly News reporter Natalia Carino shows us some of the spookiest spots.
There's a very simple technique called the flashlight technique.
Robert Sandler uses these flashlights for something a little out of the ordinary. He uses them for ghost tours that start at the downtown Orlando bar, Harry Buffalo.
Unseen noise sources like doors slamming and knocks on the walls.
Those are the sights and sounds he says visitors might find in the historic building. Employees like Rachel Vasquez say it's true.
There's a homeless guy upstairs, it's kind of weird and strange. He was like, no, there's no possible way you could see a homeless guy. It's definitely the ghost that lives there.
A ghost that didn't seem to bother Kaylee and Wade Laxton.
We just scrunch our teeth together or our faces.
The couple had their rehearsal dinner at Harry Buffalo and their wedding next door at Ceviche, also known as a haunted bar.
And then we found out about the history behind it, and that just sold it for us. Because I have a very deep fascination with the paranormal.
Paranormal activity is not uncommon on Church Street. Robert says he has encounters at Ferg's Depot.
We've made contact with a spirit that identifies herself as being one of the executives that worked in the train station.
So, next time you grab a drink on Church Street, you may not be alone. Natalia Carreño, UCF Nightly News.
The 18th annual Church Street Halloween block party is Saturday starting at 8 p.m. No word yet on whether the resident ghosts and goblins plan to attend.
Costuming is an old tradition for the Halloween holiday, but the tradition has evolved over the past 100 years. The Lake Mary Museum is showcasing a vintage and haunted Halloween exhibit. Built in 1926, the historic location in Lake Mary held many roles before it became a museum in 1994. The vintage costumes on display are from as early as the 1920s. Local Lake Mary families wore some of the original costumes close to a century ago. Staff at the museum says ghost hunters visited the building and found 49 ghosts.
When I'm volunteer here, I hear, sounds, not voices, but like somebody is here with me.
In addition to the ghosts, the staff claims a haunted doll is known to whisper and change positions at night. The museum also holds traditional funeral attire, including a 140-year-old coffin. The Halloween exhibit will remain on display through the end of October.
Americans are spending billions this year on Halloween, and the theme park capital of the world is one of the reasons. The National Retail Federation estimates that Halloween spending will reach $9.1 billion this year. This prediction shows a $500 million increase from last year. HauntWorld.com reports $1 billion of the overall spending is attributed to ticket purchases at the haunted theme parks. 95% of the celebrants will purchase candy. Other purchases include costumes, decorations, and greeting cards.
Shopping for Halloween costumes can be a challenge. Even when there are a lot of options, you might find those options limited. Nightly news reporter Natalia Hernandez shows us what one Central Florida woman found on her hunt for the right costume.
Sabine Belliard, a UCF sophomore, is trying to find a costume that is up to her standards.
I like to find something that's cute and like a little bit sexy but not too revealing.
Recent fashion and textile studies show the average costume for women is much more revealing than men's costumes. Walking down the aisles of the costume shop, you will run into the sexy nun, the sexy nurse, and the sexy cop. Although a lot of Halloween costumes for women could be a little bit risque, some believe that wearing a short schoolgirl skirt like this one allows women to express their sexuality freely. Jennifer Sandoval, an associate professor of human communication, says these sexy costumes aren't necessarily degrading for women.
Part of the evolution of the tradition of masquerade, right, which is really what costume wearing is using a mask that might hide some of you, but also might actually be a part of you that you don't regularly get to express.
Belliard sees the abundance of sexy options as a societal standard that women are expected to meet.
Women are held up to these standards where it's just like, oh, you have to be pretty all the time, or you have to like dress a certain way so that people like you. Or
Sandoval and Belliard say retail stores should provide more variety of costume options for women to choose from. Reporting from Orlando, Natalia Hernandez, Nightly News.
Alternative options for Halloween stores could be vintage costume shops and thrift stores. UCF holds an annual costume sale from previous plays, but it was canceled this year.
If you're wondering where the Halloween hotspots are around UCF, Waterford Lakes Town Center offers family-friendly fun. The annual Trick or Treat event will take place on Halloween Day, and there will be a performance by DJ J Mac, who will be playing Halloween-themed music. Halloween treats are available at participating stores. Organizers say costumes should be worn during the event, which will take place from 5 to 9 p.m.
We'll tell you more about fun places to go on Halloween after the break.
But before we go, Nightly News reporter Tiffany Thompson joins us to share some fun facts about the holiday.
Thanks, Khalil. As we mentioned earlier in the Halloween show, Halloween has been around for many years. Some sources say it dates back as far as 2,000 years ago. And actually, did you know that jack-o'-lanterns haven't always been pumpkins? People used to use turnips, beets, and potatoes. And my favorite, candy companies report that they produce 35 million pounds of candy corn per year.
Wow, that's a lot of candy corn.
I'm more of a gummy bear guy myself, but thanks, Tiffany, for those fun Halloween facts.
Coming up, we'll tell you about more hotspots for Halloween in the Orlando area.
Plus, a Central Florida man turns his backyard into a haunted maze and gives the proceeds to charity.
Also on Nightly News, find out some insider tips on makeup from a Halloween Horror Nights expert. If you're lurking for more places to trick or treat or to hang out, Nightly News reporter Beth Brewster has been on the lookout for more hotspots around the community.
Thanks, guys. There's spooktacular festivities happening near UCF. Tomorrow at Baldwin Park, the Kidtoberfest is from 3 to 6 p.m. Local companies join at the park for an evening of family fun. For more information, visit www.baldwinparkevents.com. The city of Altamont Springs presents Halloween at Crane's Roost Park from 5 to 9 p.m. on Halloween Day. It's a community door-to-door trick-or-treating event for the family. For more information, visit www.altamont.com. Another event near UCF at the Florida Mall presents their Malloween. The event is from 5 to 8 p.m. and the Play Park at Macy's Court Halloween Day. There will be face painting, special character experiences, and more. Call 407-851-7234 for more information. Oviedo Mall presents Halloween Bash. The event is from 5 to 7 p.m. on Halloween Day. There will be a kid-friendly haunted house and a not-so-scary show. For more information, visit www.myovidomall.com. There are many more events located throughout the Central Florida community. While you're out trick-or-treating, you may notice that teal is the new orange this year. But it's not just a decorating trend. I got to talk to a UCS student who shows us how this trend can save a life. Food Allergy Research and Education started the Teal Pumpkin Project so that children with allergies could still enjoy trick-or-treating. Families can pick out a pumpkin, paint it teal, and then leave it on their doorstep to let others know that there are non-food treats for their children with allergies. UCF freshman Madison Banish says that her family participates every Halloween.
I think it's really great that there's more people are becoming more open-minded to solutions, and they're kind of encouraging kids that, like, hey, it's okay if you get fruit, or it's okay if this candy is a little different because overall it's better for their health.
Halloween can be a frightful time for those with allergies. Families like Banish's are grateful for the Teal Acts of Inclusiveness. Food Allergy Research and Education says the goal for 2017 is to see at least one teal pumpkin on every block in the U.S. For more information on trick-or-treating locations, you might want to check out the Nextdoor app. The app allows residents to report if they plan to pass out candy. It also generates a map for easy planning. Reporting for Nightly News, I'm Beth Brewster. Back to you, Khalil and Alex.
Thanks, Beth. Nightly News reporter Tiffany Thompson is back with us again with more fun Halloween facts.
Tiffany, we have an upcoming story about a town full of mediums and spiritualists. Do you have any paranormal info for us?
Thanks, Khalil and Alex. I'm looking forward to that story later in the show, but did you know that tradition of dressing up as ghosts and spirits actually originated in Ireland? Like, they used to believe that Halloween was a night when the dead would come back. Today, the costume industry brings in about $3.4 billion in sales.
That's a lot of costumes, but I already have mine picked out. I'm going to be Cruella de Vil. What are you being?
I'm going to be a safari guide. Thanks, Tiffany, for those fun facts. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at the town where half of the residents communicate with the paranormal.
Plus, a UCF student who doubles as a makeup artist and is showcasing her talents at Halloween Horror Nights.
Also on UCF Nightly News, we'll teach about a Mexican tradition that starts on November 1st.
For some Central Florida residents, the paranormal is personal, and the Halloween season attracts visitors to their town. Nightly News reporter Jane Kim takes us to a community of spiritualists and mediums.
Not a soul is seen roaming these empty streets. Or is there? This quiet town is home to spiritualists and mediums, and more than half of them claim they can communicate with the dead. Those who visit this town often feel another presence around. One visitor tells us about his experience here.
Can't go to towns like these and not feel the spiritual presence. And people probably come to towns like this for that, because you can't go to other towns for it.
They say that this place is a place of healing and finding peace, but sometimes kids just come here to get a scare.
Residents say this place is nothing to be afraid of, but visitors think otherwise.
The stories you hear, it's right around Halloween. You're like, oh my God, it's like, something's gonna come and can get you, like, it's gonna, follow you home, like, a spirit or something's gonna get you. No offense. And, that's all your thoughts coming in here.
But Casadega's tour guide explains the real reason why people should visit this town.
We are a healing community because basically we are dealing with people that come here a lot that have issues with people who have passed on to the other side, and we're helping to solve those issues.
The town gets spookier as Halloween approaches and continues to attract visitors who are in search of a supernatural experience. In Casadega, Jane Kim, Nightly News.
Casadega attracts thousands of visitors every year. The camp is hoping to change the mindset of visitors who only come here to get a scare and show them the dead can have a nice side too. While some people are preparing their costumes for Halloween, others are building altars to remember their loved ones. Nightly News did some digging on a Mexican holiday that celebrates the dead.
When shoppers head to the stores during the Halloween season, they see decorations like these, sugar skulls or calaveras, in Mexican-inspired costumes. And while some might see them as cool, UCF student and Mexican-American Emilia Nicholson Fajardo thinks the trend is inappropriate.
Sugar skulls and the ofrendas can all be very beautiful, but it's important to recognize that that culture is not a costume.
Costumes are just one part of the holiday traditions. UCF professor and Mexican native Dr. Beatrice Reyes Foster recalls childhood memories of the festivities.
We used to have contests at school where people would come in and you would have teams and they would create the most elaborate and beautiful altar.
Traditional altars are meant to honor lost loved ones. UCF visual arts professor Wanda Raimundi Ortiz was invited by the National Museum of Mexican Art to create one for the victims of Pulse. But she almost declined because as a Puerto Rican, she doesn't practice the traditions of this Mexican holiday.
I didn't feel like I had enough of a connection to honor it the right way. But I did have a connection to the Pulse victims, and I am an artist.
Nicholson Fajardo works with Raimundi Ortiz and agrees that people should think before they shop.
I think it's important for people in the States, and especially those that are not of Mexican descent, to draw the line between appreciation of a culture and appropriation of the culture.
She says skulls and flowers aren't just decorative, they're part of her culture.
To learn more about Dia de los Muertos, students can attend an event on November 2nd. The event will take place in the UCF John C. Hitt Library. Guest speaker Dr. Beatrice Reyes Foster says the event will familiarize students with the holiday's traditions. Nightly News reporter Tiffany Thompson is back with more fun facts about Halloween.
Tiffany, we have a story coming up about Halloween Horror Nights makeup. That's a big event that's been going on for a long time, right?
That's right, Khalil and Alex. Halloween Horror Nights started in 1991 as Fright Nights. Later in this show, we'll be talking to a makeup artist about her tips and tricks to the perfect Halloween makeup. But did you know that National Geographic reports the witch is the most popular adult costume? They also say 1 in 5 people believe spells and witchcraft are real.
That's really interesting. It reminds me of my hometown in Salem.
Thanks, Tiffany. Coming up after the break, we'll show you a local decorator who takes Halloween to the extreme.
Plus, find out more about those makeup skills and how UCF theater students are putting them to use. Face paint, costumes, and decorating. Some people take it to the extreme. Nightly News reporter Brianna Jones tells us about one scare enthusiast who goes all out for the holiday.
Bad guys, skeletons, werewolves, and goblins lurk in the shadows. These spooky creatures are in Goldstein's backyard, at least during the month of October.
I'm a little strange and eccentric. Me and my brother actually started it back in Orlando 8 years ago.
Each year, the two brothers transform the yard into a haunted maze.
And all your friends, you'll all float down here.
At every turn in the maze, creepy props scare those who dare walk past. Scare actors roam the halls waiting to terrify their next victim.
Off with your head! Just a bunch of volunteers who love coming together for Halloween, scaring people and doing a bunch of cool things together.
Just behind these curtains is the scare of a lifetime. The Orlando Haunted Maze team built this house from the ground up. Fine-tuning the rooms from 14 to 5, people come all over Orlando to get scared for a cause.
Try to raise money for a specific charity that we all pick, and we donate a portion of that money to that charity.
This year, Goldstein is donating the funds to help with Hurricane Irma relief.
For every party that comes in, it helps another person in need.
Goldstein paired his love for weird and eccentric things with his passion for helping those in need. He says last year, roughly 1,500 people dared to enter the maze. With an increase in visitors comes a rise in donations. Reporting in Orlando, Brianna Jones, UCF Nightly News.
Goldstein plans to expand the maze to a building in the near future. Until then, the maze will continue to run out of his backyard. He says it will be open Friday and Saturday from 7 to 11 p.m. and Halloween Day until midnight. For more information, you can check out OrlandoHauntedHouses.com.
That's all our time for right now. We hope you have a safe and spooky Halloween. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, nightlynews.com.edu.
And if you got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynews@ucf.edu. Thanks for watching and have a good day.